So the fence is now finished, and in this video I'll show you the fence, and I'm going to go through what it's cost in the end to build it, and yeah, the sort of lessons that I've learned along the way, the problems that we've had, and the things that have gone well. And yeah, it has cost a bit more than I was planning for it to cost. It has taken a little bit longer, but I am pleased that it's now done. So yeah, I'll go through the costs. If you want to see the house being built, and if you want to follow along with Nathan's journey on Sigihor, I'll be going back over there soon. So please like and subscribe. So lesson one, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that I had to learn this lesson, but it's don't dig by hand. Maybe that's fine for a really small project, or if the soil's really soft, but this was 110 meters and the soil was quite rocky, and so we wasted, I think, 2 or 3 days trying to dig the trenches by hand, which is not too bad, but yeah, for the house, definitely mini digger day one. Second lesson then is just find a good foreman and team, and I think I was lucky that they turned out to be great. So before setting them on, I'd visited one of their recent projects, so it was a finished house in Dauin, and the owner had let me look around the house, and they'd done a really beautiful job of it. And yeah, I spoke to her, and she said that Ben, the foreman, and the whole team, just really nice guys, really honest, and she kind of recommended them. And then I spoke to another couple of people that live on the same street in Dauin as well, and although they'd not done any work for them, they said as well, you know, good reputation, very honest, trustworthy, and that they'd recommend them. Number 3 is just communication. So in the first week, communication was really difficult, and I think some of that was language, but some of it was just the kind of cultural difference, which is basically that Filipinos don't like overly direct communication. I think it can sometimes seem a little bit hostile, a little bit confrontational to them. And I think the term is pakikisama, so it's kind of harmony and getting along with people and not being confrontational. And I think by week 2, week 3, everything was great, and we were actually getting on really well, everything going good. Lesson number 4, visit suppliers in person. It's difficult to cost stuff up online or over the telephone. I think you need to visit, you need to talk about the prices, and you need to feel the materials, see the materials. The quality does vary, especially the CHBs. So you want to look at the CHBs and check that they're all right, and everything else, you know, see that they're going to be good. The other thing is as well, the suppliers that we used, I think, were really good and honest, but their record keeping is not great. You know, they've not got sophisticated computer systems. They're just doing it with a pen and paper, and so some of our invoices were not right. They didn't sort of correspond how much stuff had been ordered or delivered. And yeah, genuine mistakes, and again, it's just easier to then visit them in person, say, look, I think you've got this wrong, and then they were fine in clearing it up. And then the last lesson, and again, it should just be obvious, but it's relax and enjoy the process. At the end of the day, it shouldn't be stressful, and I think in the first week or 2, I was really stressed by everything. And by week 3 maybe, I was just like, nah, you know, this is all optional. I am trying to build my dream house here, essentially, for a fraction of what it would cost in the UK, and it should be enjoyable. And I think then, since then, it kind of has been. So yeah, they're the 5 lessons. And then in terms of costs then, materials. We used a lot more materials than I expected, but I think that's just because I'd underestimated. So we used 370 bags of cement, 66,000. We used 195 12mm rebars, 42,000. 320 10mm rebars, 46,000. So rebars was something that I massively underestimated, but you know, I don't want to cut corners, and I think we've made it really good and really strong. We used 2,500 concrete hollow blocks, 12 pesos each, so 30,000. We used 18 truckloads of aggregate, 67,000. The metal for the gates and grills, 40,000. Electrics, which were kind of optional, but I decided I want the garden space to feel nice and to be well lit. So the circuits and lights around the perimeter, 35,000 in the materials, and then paint, 22,000, and other materials, the cheap bits that just add up, so ties and nylon and nails, everything like that, 15,000. And then labour. So it was basically 8 men for 5 weeks at 600 pesos per day on average each, and then 4 men for 4 weeks, again at 600 per day each. So 207,000 total labour bill. And then the only other bits were digger, 15,000, snacks, 50 pesos per person a day, which adds up, you know, 17,000. And then the electrician, who was the only outside worker that we used. Everything else was done by the team, and he was on a fixed price to do the electrics of 15,000. So that's a grand total of 635,000. So it's a lot, but I'm pleased with it. I think it's looking really good. And in terms of the budget to build the actual house then, my original total budget for the fence and the house was 2.2 million. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to build the house for 1.6 million. I've tried to be a bit more realistic now, and I think not much more than that, but I am thinking to do a good job of it, finish it to a nice standard, it's probably going to be a minimum of 1.8 million, maybe more like 2 million. So we are going to go over budget.
So yeah, that's the fence, and it is now, other than a few minor finishing touches, so the grills on the end and a little bit of paint on this gate here, it is now finished. And I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but the house is now laid out in rebar and nylon, so that it's ready for the mini digger. So the mini digger will hopefully come next week, and then we can start building the house. So yeah, please, if you want to see the house being built, and if you want to see progress on Nathan's dome project in City Hall, please like and subscribe, and there'll be a new video coming soon.